Namaskaram. Let us continue with the Mahabharata story. We are in the main story and started telling the marriage of Dhritarashtra. We said Bhishma had heard about the Gandhara princess known as Gandhari, who had got the blessing of Lord Shiva to have 100 sons, and hence Bhishma sent an emissary to the king of Gandhara with valuable presents. And the king had some hesitation because he heard about he knew about the prince Dhritarashtra, who was a good candidate in all other respects, except that he was blind. But taking all into consideration, he agreed to give his daughter in marriage. And he sent Gandhari with her brother Shaguni to Hastinapuram. Incidentally, Hastinapuram is near present-day Delhi, and Gandhara, Afghanistan, of course, is to its west. And Gandhari, when she heard that her future husband is going to be blind, she blindfolded herself even before reaching Hastinapura, and she didn't remove it until the very last as a token of her commitment to her husband. And their marriage was conducted with all the rites and due festivities. That's about Gandhari's marriage to Dhritarashtra. And before we go into the marriage of marriage of Pandu to the daughter of Kunti Bhoja, who was known as Kunti. Let us go into her earlier story. Krishna, who will appear as a main character in Mahabharata, will come much later at the time of Arjuna's marriage. Krishna's grandfather was named Shura, and Shura had a good friend by name Kunti Bhoja. And Kunti Bhoja married, but he had no children. So Shura promised that he would give him his firstborn. And Shura got a daughter named Pritha, and he kept his promise and gave his daughter to Kunti Bhoja for adoption. And Kunti Bhoja accepted Pritha with all the love, and he looked after her as his own daughter. Now, because he is known as the daughter of Kunti Bhoja, she was herself called Kunti, and that name stuck. Kunti was in charge of receiving guests in the palace, especially the important ones. And Kunti looked after them very well. Once sage Durvasa came, Durvasa is known for his short temper. He gets very angry quickly, but of course he can also be pleased very quickly. And Kunti looked after the sage very well, so well that the sage was very happy, and he offered Kunti a boon at the time of leaving. He foresaw that in future life Kunti will need children. She would have problem to get children on her own. So Durvasa offered her a boon. It was a mantra. He said, I'm giving you a mantra. Repeat it, learn it by heart. You can use it 5 times. Each time you chant the mantra and pray to one God. And the God will appear before you, and with his blessing you will have a son. And Kunti accepted the boon, and the sage left, and she thought, oh, this looks like a very interesting boon. To have a child just by repeating this mantra, how does it work? So as soon as the next day was born, and when she saw the sun rising, she thought, oh good, he's a handsome God, so bright. Let me pray to him and see what happens. And Kunti chanted the mantra and prayed to sun god. And immediately the sun god appeared in front of her. A very handsome God, very bright. And he said, look, girl, I came because of you called me. I am at your service. And I can give you a son as per the power of this mantra. Kunti got scared. She didn't think about the consequence that seriously. Just out of childhood fancy, curiosity, she chanted the mantra. And she said, oh God, please don't. I am still a maiden, unmarried. I cannot have a child now. You please go back. It was a mistake on my part. You please forgive me and go back. I don't want a child. But so the sun god said, no, you can't do that. This mantra is so powerful that I am myself helpful. When someone chants it and prays to me, I have to give a son to the person. And now I will give you the son, and no harm will come to you. You, in all other respects, you will be as before. You will get the son in no time, and you will remain a maiden, a virgin, and nobody will come to know that you had a delivery. And so Kunti, what is it called, accepted it as her fate, and they had a union. The sun god left, and Kunti immediately became pregnant. It was such a miracle, the power of the mantra, that the pregnancy matured in no time, and Kunti in her chambers gave birth to a boy. And it's all happened instantaneously. It was a very handsome, very fair in complexion, very handsome, and the boy had armor, metallic armor stuck on her skin, the chest and back, like a normal armor, but it was part of her body. It was not something worn from outside. And the boy also had golden ear protection, not ear ring, but an ornament which is worn by warriors those days to protect the ear. All the important body parts were protected, and the chest and ear were important. And that was, and the earring was also stuck to the ear protection. And Kunti anyway, her concern was how to get rid of the boy. So she secretly at night got a raft made from somebody earlier and placed the boy on the raft and took him to the nearby river Ganga and floated him on the river current, and the current carried the boy away, and it reached the house of the charioteer. What was his name? Radha. And when he was taking bath, he saw a raft coming, and he thought there was something on the raft, and he found it to be a child. So he swam and took the raft and saved the boy and took him to his house. His wife didn't have any children, so she was very pleased, and they look after the boy until he grew up a young boy. So we will stop here. We'll continue with the story of Kunti tomorrow. Namaskaram.